Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily NVIDIA report for Tuesday, December 10th, 2024. Let's take a look at the charts. I'm going to start with the big picture as usual. And you can see two big areas here, well below and well above the market, the low to mid 120s, the low to mid 170s. And I can show the low to mid 170s here, 171.79 to 175.74, that if tested over the next month or two can contain buying perhaps through the first quarter of next year. And inversely, if we were to fall and test the low to mid 120s over the next 2 to 3 weeks, the 121.81 to 125.16 region can absorb selling through January, possibly into the later first quarter. Now, in terms of whether to expect the low to mid 120s, that comes into play. Even a daily settlement today below 137.15, I would advise exiting a long position. The short side comes into play, kind of officially or clarifyingly, if you will, with a weekly settlement Friday below 137.15. But even a Tuesday settlement below 137.15, I think the writing is on the wall for likely bearish continuation into that 121.81 to 125.16 region within 2 to 3 weeks. I will talk more about that in just a moment. Let's take a look at the midterm outlook. And you can see I do have 137.15. I have it represented here as a horizontal line that above which, and it is the low of the high, by the way, once again, on that weekly chart, the all-time high from almost a month ago was 137.15, the low of that high. And that has pivot point qualities in terms of bar chart analysis. Continued weekly settlements above that allows for a more stable to bullish dynamic, ultimately allowing, I'm going to use the word allowing right now rather than expecting, because we have had a failed signal. I don't know, do we show the chart anywhere? I know you know what I'm talking about, but it is a channel bottom. No, we don't really show it anymore because there's just so much room on this page. But I'm going to say allowing the low 170s to mid 170s above 137.15 will keep this area in reach, say between now and the end of January. I don't know, the clock is ticking. We're in this sort of sideways trade right now, maybe by the end of February. And if we close below 137.15, once again, the low to mid 120s. And that's what we see on the daily chart represented here by this horizontal line. Above 137.15 allows, on the daily chart, climbing the low to mid 160s and climbing. And inversely, if we were to close below 137.15, I do see that setting up for a low to mid 120s. 2 to 3 weeks, I think, is realistic now. So let's take a look kind of at the the near term, the today and 3 to 5 days out, and you can see. Well, I'll begin with this chart here. We've got 137.15. We also have 143.72. And so, this is a strong intraday resistance level. I don't know how else to phrase it. What I mean by that is we could have called this a session containment level, but because I do think that this market can move up through the rest of the week above 137.15, I want to keep it light, but we're an appreciable distance from it in terms of the day trade. And I think you can buy 137.15 and hold out for 143.72 on an intraday basis. On the way up, we have all these minor points, but it really is 143.72 where you could stick your neck out. I'm talking to day traders in terms of selling either a previously held long position or even playing the short side outright on an intraday basis. If we happen to close above 143.72, 148.84 is likely within 1 to 2 days. I do think 148.84 is likely between now and the end of next week, holding above 137.15. 148.84 is a newly formed rising channel top that can contain daily buying pressures, and if settled above, should set off aggressive follow-through buying into that 160s that I showed earlier within probably just a week or two of activity. If we were to close above that 148 area, that's right about here in the chart, within 2 to 3 weeks, we should continue on into the low to mid 160s. Let's cover the downside here. I'm going to talk 137.15 that in the event, we happen to, well, do I show it? I really don't show it. I do show 129.13. So if we happen to close today below 137.15, 129.13 becomes a 3 to 5 day target. And if we then follow up with a Friday settlement, presumably below 137.15, under that scenario, when I say presumably, if we close today below 137.15, I see 129.13 likely over the next 3 to 5 days. And so by Friday, we could be in the very low 130s or upper 120s. And that's when I say presumably, then we would also close the week itself Friday below 137.15, which would be a meaningful sell signal, as I say, into later December, the low to mid 120s, then expected within 2 to 3 weeks. Once again, it looks something like this. If we close below 137.15, 129.13 likely within 3 to 5 days, and the low 120s within 2 to 3 weeks, where we could bottom out through January, possibly the entire first quarter. So we're hanging by a thread here at 137.15. I will mention, that the NASDAQ 100, the triple Q, posted a significant long-term buy signal last week when it closed above 513.33. We'll just see how this plays out. The NVIDIA, if we happen to hold, this 137.15, that would be consistent, of course, with the NASDAQ 100 continuing higher. If the NVIDIA winds up closing below 137.15, not only for today, but later in the week on Friday, I think that would also be consistent with the NASDAQ 100 or the triple Q having closed back below that long-term channel top that we find once again at 513.33. That would be a big deal for the NASDAQ 100, for the triple Q. Closing the week Friday back below 513.33 would be a sign of bearish continuation through the first quarter. I think that pretty much rounds it out. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. Take advantage of our 5-day free trial. Last week we put out 2 stock picks. We put out stock picks every week. Okta and Roku last week. Also, we do daily triple Q, daily SPY analysis, etc., etc., etc. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, with Wednesday's NVIDIA report, and you have a great day.